Hey guys, we're back on the tractor again today. We're nearly done. Stay tuned. Someone said it's a tiny dick.
Bit of a tight budget on this one.
Well, that looks a whole lot cleaner. Certainly a lot more green on it than I thought. The old Yanmar green. So, today's video we're going to whack a bit of paint on those step treads. I've got some etch primer I'll put on there, nice and black. We're going to mount the new fuel tank, which is over here. So that's been pressure tested. There was one little spot that I had to put another little weld on, and I've ground it off, so it's all good. And there was a tiny little toolie box that was sitting right there. Now I'm thinking about putting it back there because that's where there was a sticker for the gear lever, so I didn't really want to put the sticker back onto there, so I'll put it on that little toolie box. So we're going to paint that. We're going to put all the brackets on for the seat. We could actually mount that seat. There's no reason why we couldn't. And I've got to fix this. That's pretty crusty, like you can see through that. That lever won't last very long at all. And that lifts and raises and lowers the 3-point linkage. And I'm probably going to have to make something better than that. I think I'm going to have to make a plastic knob on the lathe. So I'll just put a piece of rod down the side of it to give it some strength and try and fill that little hole there. And then I need a knob, not the people that you work with. I need to put a new knob on it because this one's a bit sort of average. Don't know anyone who makes plastic knobs, do you? No? So paint the treads, put the tank in. I've got some little rubber strips I'll put along there. And I'm not sure if I'll use this strap or not, and strap it back down. I can mount the radiator, put it into place, and work out how I'm going to do that thermofan sort of setup. I've got an air cleaner to stick on there. That'll be nice. And take this little, I don't even know what it is. It goes into the intake for some reason. And it looks like at one stage it had a little plastic cap on it. So if anyone knows, can you leave a comment below for me? But I'm going to remove it and block that off, so no dust or anything's going to go down in there. And the air cleaner will be on there, so that'll be good. What else am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to tidy up this dash, like pull the switches out and the tacho over there and give it a light rub back. So we can whack a bit of paint on that. So there's a fair bit sort of happening. It's going to start looking like a tractor soon. and hopefully all that sheet metal I took over to AMC Restorations will be ready. Hoping so, because actually I want to take these wheels off and give them a bit of a paint job. They certainly need it. They've been knocked around from years and years, but it sort of adds to it all. Yeah, a bit of patina. Oh, that's what else I got to make on the lathe, a center cap. See what I can do there. So let's get those couple of things all rolling, and let's get into it, eh? We've got a fair bit on. Here we go. Well, how does that look? Seats all in place. My massive big gear knob. That's a big knob. And that lever is reinforced. There's no real side movement before. So we went from this little piece of rusted bit of crud to that lovely big knob. And that's all spring tensioned. And I put all those brackets in there. You can sort of see where I'm going with it. You see the foot tread way down there? That's the edge of the foot tread that I made wider. So I had to make these brackets wider. There's the other one there. So they all sort of line up. So that one's all good. And the seat mount and everything, it's all used the original rubber base, and I've just made a light steel frame under there with a little pin in it. And it sits in these little saddles. Oh, that's what I've got to do. This little spring has to come back here. So that actually activates. See that little shiny pin there? That's a hydraulic valve. And this lever controls it. So you pull that up and down. And it actually pushes it in and out, which controls the 3-point linkage on the back, for those who don't know much about tractors. So that's all in place and secure. So I've painted those steps. They look all really nice and shiny. Oh man, this looks clean, doesn't it? I've cleaned up around where the Watsy hoses go, the radiator hoses, sorry. And I put a little bit of petroleum jelly around them so they don't rust on the outside, because I don't think it ever had coolant in it. or if it did, it was not present. So I've got plenty of coolant to put in it. I'm about to mount the radiator, and she's a goer. I've just got to make a base plate, or actually a rubber mount for the battery. I'll cut that rubber while I'm doing the rubber for the tank and work out that funny strap. So we're getting there. We have a seat and we have a gear knob. I mean we got a, what's the lever knob thing? There's the gear lever in there. That's the gear lever. Anyway, so I will continue. Let's get this radiator mounted. See if we've got some hoses that can make up, because I couldn't find the original ones, the original Yanmar ones. So I've gone with, I think it's Corolla or something. They've just got a few bends in it, so here we go. So, yeah, this is what we're up to at the minute. As you saw, I ripped off them wheels. I took off those wheels. Where are we? Oh, a bit of a change of plans with the radiator and the fan. Originally I was looking at putting a thermo fan at the front here, but the one I've got, I thought it was small enough, but it just doesn't fit. Like, it does fit, and it probably would be not too wide, but it comes down too low, and the battery's, you know, nearly up to here, so it just won't fit. So I've gone and grabbed the old fan blade and sanded the edge, the brittle looking edge, and any of the little edges, the corners. So it's all tidied up, and I feel okay with it. It's not going to snap off anytime soon, so that'll be good. You like my little pod filter? It's off a Kawasaki motorcycle, I think it is. So that'll work fine. It's only a little 2-cylinder, so there's no massive amount of draw on that poor little thing. Where are we? Once I took wheels off, I thought I might give these a bit of a clean up, so I'll do that soon, and then I'll put a tape around here. I'll keep the main body green, so I'll just put a bit of tape around here, and then I'll just paint the end of it once I clean them up so it doesn't look so rusty and crusty. There you saw the seat go on. The wheels. These are the old front wheels. Now they're not tractor wheels. These are actually off a early Ford Cortina. And I'll put a bit of paint on. This is the side that you'll see. They're turned around, same as the front ones. I mean the rear wheels are the same. They're turned around, so just for a wider track, I'm pretty sure that's why they've done it. Because most tractor wheels are able to be turned around. So I've painted the front a little bit because it was a bit crusty. So it'll look really good actually with the bonnet and everything once it all comes up, because that's the bit that you'll see, is that bit out the front here. So I've done that, and as you saw, I put the old wire brush, electric wire brush over these, and I've started taping it up. So I'm just going to tape it to the edge and then put a piece of cardboard here, so when I'm painting it, it'll be okay. So it'll be fine. Now, if this was a full restoration, I would have taken these tyres off. Actually, I probably would have put new tyres on, but it's not a full restoration. So anyway, if it was a full restoration, I would have stripped the tyres off and got the rims all sandblasted and then painted up really nicely. But it's not a full restoration. It's a sort of a restoration. So we're just tidying it up. And the main purpose of the wire wheel is just to get the flaky bits off, any flaky bits that have come off, and it'll give it half a chance to adhere, the paint to adhere to. It'll be okay. It'll look really nice when it's all done. And the fuel tank's all painted. It's all done. Just got to paint the fuel cap. Not sure what colour yet. Maybe the same as, I don't know. I'll work that out. All I've got to do now is, besides tape up those wheels, is pop out the gauge and those couple of switches out of the dash, because I can't remove the steering wheel without severely damaging it. I don't really want to do that, so I will pop out the gauges and give it a light sand back, and then I'll be able to give it a lick of paint too. It'll look pretty good. Might make it white to match the wheels. The only original colour that's on here is the green, and it doesn't look too bad. I think it looks... Yeah, comment below what you think it's going to be, the bonnet and all the guards and everything. Bit of a mystery. So the exhaust is all done, you saw it before. So all I've got now is sand back the little dash, the bit that's going to be exposed anyway, and finish taping up the wheels and give all those a bit of a lick. And then I can put the wheels back on, I guess. And we'll go from there, and then we're nearly ready for the mudguards and the bonnet. So it'll be a running tractor. Then I'll be able to put coolant and put these little side guards on, which I've got over here hanging. These little ones here. I've just got to give them a top coat. I'll do them white as well. Top coat of white. So anyway, let's get into doing some masking and a bit of painting. Let's get into it. Here we go. fixing a rust spot, which I only just noticed. The last spot of rust on the whole tractor. I was stripping it, all the gauges out and everything, and I noticed it, and I thought, why half do a job? Might as well do it properly. So here I am with a welder, and the tractor's all covered. So anyway, I'll get into welding that up, and hopefully I can blend it in because I was only going to lightly rub that red or orange or whatever it is off. Anyway, let's get into it. Here we go. So another lovely morning. We're back into it today. Hopefully this is dried. Oh, got to touch it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's all dry. I even put another coat of top coat over the top of that, and a coat of clear. You can't see it, but it's got a really nice shine to it. So, which is probably too shiny for a tractor. But anyway, all the bolts are all done. Most of those are wheel bolts, but the little ones are, just guards and bits and pieces, and a few other bits are all ready. I made a little bracket off camera to hold the header tank, which is this little beastie there, and it sits on the front of the radiator, connects to this little bracket here, and it sort of bolts down under here. So it bolts up, hangs there, you'll see that in a minute, and it's just out of the way of the battery, which is perfect. So let's get all these covers off and unwrap everything and start putting the dash back together, and then try and work out some wiring. The only real circuit I need is the starter, generator and the headlights. Nothing else is real crucial at the moment, so we'll start getting that sort of rolling. Here we go. Okay, who here loves wiring? Not my favourite, but I've worked it out. This is the ignition switch, the main one that goes to the starter, so I can put that back. This is the light switch, which does not pull in and out, which is fine. So it looks like there's a high beam and low beam, that's two-part circuit there. So, but the LEDs that I'm putting back just are on, that's it, it's on or off. So I'll just get a simple switch for that. because I was kind of wondering at the front here when I tidied it up before, there's 3 wires, so and 2 of them are red and 1's black, so it's pretty simple that high-low beam and an earth. So I'll probably just join those 2 together, or go to 1 each headlight. I'm not sure yet. I'll work it out when I get there. And just an earth, so you can't, there's an earth back here, and this is the main battery earth, which, you know, the motor, the chassis, everything's all earthed, and this is just the main feed to the starter. So we should be right. Just to simplify things, because I haven't got indicators. It does have an indicator circuit, like here's the indicator switch for left and right, and here's all the wires which I pull back from the chassis which went along underneath the tractor. So in case the new owner, the future owner, wants to actually make it run, the indicators, I mean. So I'll put this back in the dash, that'll be there for display. It won't really do anything, and that roller wire, so it's all still there. These 2 little yellow wires were little tiny indicator lights, which I threw on the ground there, and they were all broken when I pulled them out. So they're only indicator lights, so I've unwired those. And this, yep, look at that. That's meant to be a fuse link board instead of a fuse, you know, like glass fuses in the older cars, or in the newer style, they're just a blade. But this is fuse links, so it's not surrounded by anything. That was completely covered in mud, and inside that plastic cover, which I've dropped somewhere. Oh, here it is. So I think there's meant to be a picture there of what does what, but you know, I can't decipher it. And so in this little cover, this little thing here is spare fuse links, if it'll focus. Can we focus? There we go. Focus. There we go. So that's little fuse links. I've never actually seen them in a motor vehicle before. Well, I guess it's a tractor, so it's a bit different. So I'll keep them in there, which, you know, I don't really need, but I'll keep them in there. And I might just put 1 fuse link. So this yellow wire, this main yellow wire coming from the ignition key. So see, there's the ignition key. That yellow wire goes to the fuse box. So that's the main power, and it's got a buzz bar all the way across. So it joins, so you can have 4 different circuits. So one of those circuits is this red wire, which is for the lights. So if you go back to this here, this big switch, which goes into the wiring harness, this is the light switch. So I haven't tested the circuit yet, but I'm about to. But all I'll do is, I'm just really tempted to bypass this whole fuse box. I'll leave it in place, but I won't actually use it, and I'll bypass this power feed from the light switch and just put a normal blade fuse in there. I've got a separate little blade fuse, so hang on, I'll grab it back. So this is just a standard blade fuse, which you put it aside there. There it is. You can just see the little fuse link that's in between the center there, those 2 where they join. That's what a standard blade fuse is, and this is just the holder. So I'm tempted just to put that in just for the headlight circuit. So that one there, it says it's only 2, but surely that's not right. I'll put like a 10 amp or something in there to give a fuse circuit to the headlights, and I'll probably just put it in this hole here. So the tacho's there, and I'll put the light circuit just there, and I'll put the indicator, you know, the 2-way switch there, and I'll just bung those 2 holes with a couple of nice looking bolts or something. So pretty simple, not high tech, but it looked a bit of a mess, and you know, like if you do a little bit of electrical wiring and stuff with different cars, and Yeah, it's not so bad. It's just, you got to just trace them back and work out what does what. So there's all sorts of other wires like this one here. I'm pretty sure that goes to the horn, because here's the horn up here, which I've got a bit of overspray on. But it won't have a horn. It means I've got to put a switch in, so I won't be doing that. So we just want a circuit that does the headlights, and to make sure that the alternator circuit, well, it doesn't have an alternator. We think it's that little in that hub there, because there's a couple of wires coming out of it. These two wires here come out of that little hub. It's hard to tell. Comes out of that hub there, and they're the two wires there, and goes into the wiring circuit. So we're pretty sure that it all goes between, and it feeds into where the starter line is, and it goes to, all comes back down to the battery terminal. So we're just hoping that it all works, and the motor. So we're just told that it works. So stay tuned. We'll see. Stay tuned. We'll see if it actually turns over and everything, which I'm hoping it will once I get all this other wiring sorted. So anyway, hang in there. I'll get this wiring circuit done. Here we go. Okay, so light circuit. Got a little switch. Soldered a couple of wires on, bit of shrink wrap, a couple of terminals, and the fuse block, which you saw before, and the switch. So I've narrowed all of this wiring down, the mass that was there before, down to just a couple of wires. So we've got the ignition key, which I'll put back in a minute, and we've got the power feed that used to go to the fuse box, that little fuse links, which I've removed altogether. The only other wires that are in this whole thing, which aren't even connected, is an indicator, and that's the indicator switch, sorry, which I'll put back in the dash just to fill the hole, and the power feed to it. So all those, if ever, okay, if the new owner is watching this video, these are all the wires that'll all be poked under the dash if ever you want to put indicators on it. So I've left it all in there. That'll go tucked up under the dash there, and you won't have to worry about it. And those two wires there, I don't even know what they're for. Goes to a little box just inside there. Don't even know what that is. So it's not affecting this whole circuit, as far as I know. So I've got this wire is tracked down to these two wires. So that one's a negative, and that's the positive wire. So which I'll put a bit of shrink wrap over the top of those two, so they don't actually arc on anything accidentally. So all I got to do is feed wire from the ignition switch, put it on the side of the fuse, so the power goes straight to the fuse first, and then the wire goes up to the switch, comes back out of the switch, and then goes into this light circuit. So pretty simple, not too much complexity at all. So now I've just got to put the gauge in, the tacho, and then I realised that this is a bigger hole than this. And I even looked over here, thought, oh yeah, I'll just cheat and put it in one of those. Nah, still don't fit. So I got to drill out this hole out of this freshly painted dashboard. So anyway, I will get around that. That's if this switch, like I've tested the circuit of the switch, but I don't even know if it's waterproof or not. It looks like it could be, maybe. Anyway, hopefully it is. And so at least we've got a fusible link anyway within the light switch circuit, the light circuit. So I'll connect all that up, we'll drill this hole and start filling in all the other ones and put the tacho in there. So then the dash itself is done. Yay! Then we can move on to something else more exciting. So anyway, here we go. the dash is done. And I didn't make too much of a mess-ish. So that was a bit tricky. Try and stop the hot swarf to melt the paint. Put those switches in there and I scratched it. I don't know how I do that. So all the wiring's all taped up and tidied, and the fuse for the light circuit is just there. So the fuel tank only comes up to here, so that'll be relatively easy to swap out if need be to do that switch. And those two wires down the front here, I just put a bit of shrink wrap on them so they don't bump into stuff. And what else? Everything else is... So all the electrical and the dash, I would say, is done. So let's put the fuel tank in, the homemade fuel tank, which is in the previous video. So just check out the link below for the fuel tank. All the other videos to this tractor will be in the description below. So I will now hook up the header tank. I made a little bracket amongst all this stuff here. I think I showed you before. I made this little bracket. And this is just actually the header tank comes off a Subaru, I think, because it never had one before. So I'll sit that one there and I'll hook up that little line to there, and then we'll have a proper functioning cooling system. And there's still plenty of room there for airflow for that little tiny fan that we got, the little fan. So, and I've got heaps of height here for the battery, so that worked out really well. So I'll hook all that stuff on, and then we're nearly ready to start it. Oh well, besides wheels, you know, who needs wheels? Anyway, so fuel tank, hook up the fuel system and the return line, and finish that, put the header tank on, and we're away. So here we go, let's get into this last stint hopefully. So we've got all the fuel system all done. That little one, oh man, that was hard. Who made those bloody things? God, fuel hose just didn't well fit. Anyway, I got the one down here and to a filter. I just noticed something. See right there? There's an arrow. It's meant to go that way, but at the moment it's going that way. So I'll swap that filter around. Silly me. Not even keeping my eye open. And the little header tank, it doesn't block the airflow, because there's actually, I'm not sure if you can see it, you can still see a gap between there. It doesn't actually touch it. I'll put a little bit of foam at the top here, a little bit of foam at the top, and the bottom doesn't actually touch, so it'll still flow around that. And the little hose and everything all fits. That's really good. I'm happy with that. That's all hooked up. Dash is all done. Switches are in. You can just reach that little fuse there if you need to for the headlights. which is good. I think we're ready to drop the oil. I might do the gearbox because I don't think it looks real good. I pulled the dipstick and it was a little bit creamy, so we will swap out the oil in the gearbox, and I'll do the engine anyway. I don't know how bad it is. Like, you look on the stick and it's all black, so, but all good old diesels got black oil, so. And then put them bungs back in and we'll top up all the fluids. I can put the coolant in there, put more engine oil in, put the gearbox oil in. So then we might be ready to start. Oh no, I've got to mount the battery. So once I put a strap or a saddle over the top, the bolt holes are all there, so I might just put a crossover or something on there, or strap some sort of thing for the battery. Anyway, so I've got to put the battery on, and then we might give it a go once we get all the fluids back in it. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so the engine oil is drained. Looking at the old gauge on the front there, it's about 3 litres, and the gear oil is still dripping, so we'll let that keep going. But has anybody had trouble trying to pour oil into the oil filler without making a heck of a mess? Well, I got a hack for you. Here it is there. Top of a Coke bottle. Cut on a bit of an angle, so when you jam it in the hole, it generally fits without too much trouble. And you have the top bit, so it's open at the angle, so you'll be able to pour it straight in without too much of an issue. There's today's hack. Okay, I think we're at the point we're nearly ready to start. Just put fuel in and we have it down in the bowl. As you can see, it's not a pressure fed unit, it's gravity feed to the injector pump, and the injector pump does all the pressure. Now I've just put water in here for the moment. Yeah, good old plain old tap water. I haven't put coolant in yet. I do have a big container of coolant to put in it, but I just want to make sure there's no leaks and everything sort of turns over. So I just want some coolant, some cooling in there of some kind. So I've topped it up with oil, done the gear oil, it's all full. Oh, you saw me hook up the battery. Let's give it a go. I'm kind of quite nervous about this. Where is the make all, break all? Let's just get it running, eh? It should just fire up, apparently. There's no glow plug as such. There's no other closed circuits. We don't have wheels, but you know, we're not going anywhere. So anyway, I will hook the battery up and hang on, just leave it with me. Oh yeah, I'll hook the battery on and give her a crank. Here we go. Okay, we're ready. Got the key in. Battery's all hooked up. So let's see. Oh, that sounded pretty promising. Let's give it a bit of throttle. Okay, here we go. I've put the fuel filter around the right way. It's flowing the correct way. I've cracked that little screw there on the top. This one, it was bleed screw, so it needed to be bled, and a big heap of air come out. So fingers crossed. Ooh, nearly. Bit of throttle. Oh, wants to. One more time. Woohoo! It runs! Woohoo! A little bit smoky, but oh yeah. Oh, wow, that's a woof. I need to go outside. Yeah, so guys, it runs all right. Plenty of chuff. Bit of a black smoke, but that's the way it goes. So in the next video, we'll get all the mudguards and the bonnet and everything all on, and put the wheels on, and we'll be doing a bit of a test drive. So we'll see how it goes. So guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and also subscribe if you haven't already, and consider probably buying me a coffee. So guys, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. See ya.